Okay, so we've got the big idea and we've got the support. How do we get it done? Getting people to come along on the journey, one of the toughest challenges. You need a lot of tenacity to make it stick. I went to a controllers conference when I was with Alcoa. This is a 30-year-old story, but it still resonates. Paul O'Neill was chairman and CEO of the company at the time, a great man, a great leader. Anyway, he said he put out the challenge to the finance organisation to get a 3-day closing for the company. At the time, it was about 15 days. In Australia, we had a schedule for 10, we were taking 12 or 15. I'm getting the wind up here, so I've got to cut this short. Anyway, I thought they meant it. I went away and we got our team motivated and going. Within a year, we'd actually achieved the 3 days. Within about another 6 months, we got it down to 1 day. Alcoa still are the first to report on Wall Street. Them and Intel report 3 or 4 days after the period ends, with a full year of the whole works. That was great value for them, and proud to say that's still the case. But just get on and do it. I mean, there's a lot of 30-somethings on our following the web, and I know they're going to be getting similar challenges, and the key really is don't let those forces of entropy stop you. We had to survive a whole lot of challenge, audit and the like. So implementing big ideas. Another time we bought a rolling business, I had to get all the suppliers in, and this business gave us a monopoly position, but the business itself had never made a profit. I called all the suppliers together to say, I want this business to be successful. They were all making money out of dealing with us, but we weren't making any money at all. So people had to help, and there were a lot of ideas came from the floor of that meeting that said, you know, you can do this a whole lot differently. I think there's a couple of things to make sure we keep in mind. Keep things simple. Senior management can often get it wrong by not making the message simple. At Rio, Sam's got a very simple mantra. Treat every dollar as if it's your own and act like owners. Other areas where we make a difference is introducing more and more complexity. Employees get it wrong when they see change as a threat. If you embrace change, far better to be the architect than the victim. So, and don't overcomplicate the process. We use consultants. We've got McKinsey in the room today, we've got Hackett in the room today. Variously around the world we've used both of those organisations. And the great benefit of that is to really get that delivery and hold people accountable to their promises and make sure things are followed through. So finally, on my views on procurement and social media, as I've said, 5 billion out of the cost structure, that's a great thing, but it's because of a lot of people. And we've had a lot of information sharing, and we've been impressed by the intrapreneurship that people have been able to show. For me as CFO, I've always looked to sort of unlock that cash. So there's a whole supply chain of impact there that working capital is massively important for us. 2 billion out of that over the last 2 years. And if you think about just the Pilbara iron ore, 14 mines spread over an area about the size of Wales, and it can be run virtually from Perth. So integrating production planning systems, working capital arrangements, accounts payable, all of those things have led to a major reduction in working capital. Now, with regards to social media, my wife is absolutely my #1 supporter, but in her speeches about social media, I'm actually her poster child for the pale, stale male who doesn't want to be linked in, tweeted or poked. In fact, some might say I don't give a tweet. And while some habits are difficult to change, I do understand the power of this, and I've been fascinated watching the feed during the break there. But you can learn a heck of a lot by picking up a phone, talking to people, and the virtual community that Procurious is creating is massively important for the procurement function. We've got, in our company, we've got 60,000 people operating in 40 countries, 6 continents, and we use social media internally in the company for that very purpose of creating that community. I see a much better return on investment from that process than I do bringing 50, 100 people together for conferences that often don't deliver the same outcome. So Procurious may well be the best way to connect all these interconnecting or potential people that are there that may find themselves isolated in the particular role. Data and real-time communications is changing everything we buy, how we buy it, when we buy it, and how much of it we need. In Rio Tinto, we talk about mining the data. A lot of our equipment's got very high rates of feedback about sensors variously on the trucks, etc. We get a lot of information about how they're operating. We get a lot of information about when they need maintenance and those sorts of issues. You might have heard about the autonomous trucks. They're actually the 300-tonne trucks. They're 3 stories high. They're actually robots. We control them from Perth. And if you put your business card on the floor, the wheel would stop exactly the same place next time a truck comes. They're magnificent. Our best driver is no driver. 15% more efficient than other trucks. Use less fuel, less wear and tear. That's our version of big data in action. We're getting feedback all the time from that equipment. And with the help of our IT centre in India, we actually mine data. We mine exploration data there, old record data that we can now digitise and start to get different feedback points from it. So ultimately the data and the role of procurement with our partners becomes more important and a significantly different conversation in terms of enhancing the value of everything we bring into the company. These are truly exciting times for motivated individuals. There's a great opportunity out there. Technology is changing everything that we do and the way we do it. But ultimately, we still need people with big ideas and the tenacity and commitment to see them through. So close by inviting everyone to think about what's your next big idea, and hopefully you're not going to be frightened to give it a go. So that's all I wanted to cover this morning, but happy to open it up for any questions anybody might have. So please feel free.